Hey guys, what's going on? Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. I am going to be doing a couple of reviews. Hopefully, you can hear me despite my sickness and all that. I've been down like with whole face hurts. It's a cold, fever, body ache, and then basically I fell sick for last 3 4 days. No eat for me. I just spent the whole day on bed. So basically, sinus is an old friend of mine. Usually I get this in winter, but this time I picked up because I am not allowed to have cold stuff. And during the my grandmother passed away that time, it was a very very hot and humid day. It was a very tough time for us. We all cried a lot and everything. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit, then we'll start the review. We'll be talking about basically Tom Ford fragrance called Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum, and this is going to be a decant review. I don't have a full bottle, but I have tested it enough. So just let me tell you, like, I'm still recovering. I have plenty of medication that I'm taking. The nasals, like all these things are like my daily routine. So my first 2 days, my nose was like both blocked, and I was breathing through my mouth. I used to get this whole dry mouth and tongue. Everything would be like dry, and I wake up like really painful experience. Now my nose is opening up a little bit. I'm resting a lot, so keep me in your prayers, okay? So yeah, you didn't need to know all that, but you might ask like, why am I sounding a little bit ghostly, right? So yeah, I'm not really well, but when I sleep, I feel a little better. So I took shower, had dinner, coffee, and it's around 4:30 here, like 4 4:23 you can say, at night, very peaceful and quiet. So still we're having Eid holidays outside. People are not back yet from their hometowns. So I'm planning like maybe I'll go out today on the third day of Eid. If the whole Eid goes away, I even wash my car, couldn't go out. It was like such a shame. So now let's talk about this. I'm very excited to talk about it. And first of all, let me tell you big thanks to this page, Decants A from one of my brother's page, Mr. Shadin Shariar. He is one of the biggest collectors. I said it in the previous review when I reviewed one of the fragrances that I covered on my channel, Reflection Man, I think 45. That A particular fragrance from Amouage, and I bought some of these samples. These are very expensive perfumes, and why I say thanks is that when you have such a great collector in your country, it makes it easier for you because you don't have to really dig out the cash from your wallet or your bank balance. Let's say 500 $600. This fragrance particularly, I think, is a $300 plus fragrance, and it would be possible for me to blind buy this. I'll tell you, I collect a lot of perfumes, but I rather buy like 5 6 in that price range, right? So I decided just before the Eid, he was kind enough to send it to me very, very quickly. Excellent packaging, excellent juice, excellent pricing and service. So thank you so much, Shadin Bhai, and thank you so much for the page, for the quick, dispatch. So you guys can try it if you're in Bangladesh, if you have a nose for niche and upper class designer. This is upper class designer fragrance, okay? So previously, I did cover Tom Ford Noir, few, there are few in the line. My very first purchase was this one, Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I think the Extreme Parfum is based on this. So then I did have Noir EDP, the black bottle. I sold it off. I used to have it. Then I did have my most favorite from this line is Noir Femme. This is like a goat. And then also I managed to find a bottle of my favorite Tom Ford Noir Anthracite. This is like a very unique fragrance. This one didn't get the love it deserved. So the original Tom Ford Noir EDT, I think the white bottle, or that, the first one, I reviewed it from Sterling Enterprise long time back, but I forgot how it smells. So basically this line is a designer, but high-end designer, like Black Orchid, this one, like now they have the new ones like I think Boudy Jour or Ombre Leather. These lines are more of the designer, but very high class, highly concentrated fragrances. So Tom Ford doesn't come cheap. That's why before I could get like $120, I could get fragrances like these. These are now selling for $160 plus with discounts, okay? So not cheap anymore. And this is my older batch. I don't know how much juice left. I have about 10 ml left in this bottle, and I got excellent performance from this. So we'll compare this with the Parfum. Okay, so after a long intro, I need to tell you what my relationship with this. So I wanted to collect this so bad, try it so bad, and trust me, when I could smell it, I was like, so happy. The decant here, it's a 5 ml decant that I purchased. It comes with a sprayer with the labeling and all that, and the sprayer works okay fine. I'm wearing this already. Dry down's there. Let's spray some of it. Let's just go a couple of sprays, okay? So now this was a release of 2022, and official notes breakdown as per Fragrantica are cardamom, ginger, mandarin orange, neroli, citruses, kulfi, Bulgarian rose, orange blossom, jasmine, vanilla, sweet, then leather, amber, guaiac, tonka beans, and cedar. So these are their official notes breakdown. And like most of these notes breakdown are common with the Tom Ford Noir Extreme, which is beauty. Okay, let's talk about this. This one for me is that kulfi note that sold me on this. And the older batches, even after I took a shower, I could smell it from my skin. That strong. Tom Ford never messed around with the performance. Later on, the newer batches, people say are a little bit weak. I never got to try. Okay, but this one, such a beautiful, sweet, dark cardamom-based perfume. I really love it. It's like I call it elder brother of La Nuit de l'Homme or something like Memo Paris. Like what's that fragrance? There's this one leather, Memo Paris, African leather, yeah. So that has also the cardamom. So they are all related in certain ways. So this one I felt was supposed to be in their private blend, like Black Orchid. They are really high class fragrance, really sweet, lovey-dovey, chocolatey kind of fragrance. But later when I got to try the Femme, this one really like blew my mind. This was like the beautiful fragrance, even stronger, thicker, and like just like a more uh, intense fragrance over the Noir Extreme. Noir Extreme felt a little bit at times. It's dark, but it has a fluffiness or thinness. So now the perfume that gives you that extra layer that people are looking for. You wanted something more on the top of that original Noir Extreme. That's what you're gonna get in this one. So what am I doing? I'm doing reverse. I should smell this and show this. So this one definitely does not disappoint. I have seen people talking about like they're disappointed a little bit with this because it doesn't hold the original DNA that much, and they expected like a same Noir Extreme but stronger. I think there is no point of doing that if you make a flanker. Yeah, there are points, like the one EDT, the one EDP. So then make a little bit stronger, but it becomes like Eros EDP, Parfum. They smell all the same. So it's good that you get sometimes like a little bit stronger, but if you make a flanker, it holds a little bit of the similarity with the previous one, but it also offers something different, like a Lamal Ultra Male. These two were dry down wise. There's some similarity, but Ultra Male was instant hit because it smells so beautiful. Like I think there was this pineapple accord that to me, but actually it was, I think, pear note, right? So comparison wise, those two both are great, right? So both are interesting. You can own both, and then you can call yourself like a proper line collector. Same with this. This one adds tobacco on to my nose. It adds this a gaiac, but I get a lot of sweetness from it. Like people say, it's like more spicy, dark, leathery, tobacco version of the Noir Extreme and less sweet. I will tell you, this is still sweet, man. This definitely has that kulfi note. On the dry down, it smells so nice. Dry down is very similar to Noir Extreme, but the opening, it reminds me of Valentino Uomo versus Valentino Uomo Intense, like the leathery, chocolatey, irisy sort of vibe. This one is more intense. Definitely lasts a lot. If you talk about this and Noir Extreme, the old batch, they both last a long time, but this one I think will beat the old one. So definitely for performance, there is no issue. Definitely a performer right here. If I use this Decant, I can use it for months. Okay, so I will use it for special occasion. I'm not planning to buy the bottle. The bottle looks beautiful, golden, beautiful bottle. I saw Sebastian Zara's review. So this one you should definitely try before you buy a full bottle, because I think the prices are very steep and it's almost niche, borderline niche pricing. So if you're a fan of the original, you still have thoughts, like second thoughts. Should I be spending, when I spent like 120 bucks on my Noir Extreme, and then this one is well over like 200, 250. I don't know exactly how much it's going for, but it's expensive. So I'll tell you, this reminds me also of Tobacco Vanille. I don't know why, because maybe the tobacco in it, and maybe there's a little bit of a rose play. It's a stunning DNA. If prices, I keep it aside, like prices were not an issue, I could buy it. I would buy this over Noir Extreme. Okay, I'll tell you, because I love sweet and darkness together. Like Parfum de Marly, they did that latent explosive. I'm giving a lot of examples for you to understand easier, so you'll get the whole picture, because you cannot smell the fragrance from the video. I would tell you, if possible, spend a little bit of money. It's going to be expensive to get a sample of this, but it's going to be much cheaper than buying a full bottle first. Try it on your skin. Do not blind buy this. Okay, why? This is really good. This is as close as it gets to a masterpiece of a DNA. But some of you may think like, hey, this much money I'm spending and these are my expectations, and in the middle is the reality, the fragrance. And if your imagination doesn't meet what your expectations were, like, and the reality, right, you little bit be disappointed. I'm telling you, you'll be like, I should have spent that money. I should have gone for something like Noir Extreme itself, like a couple of bottles that would do. You are not wrong. I'll tell you, nobody's going to be wrong, but fragrances are progressive. People want to keep sniffing new DNA, want something new, what's being created new, because it keeps the interest. Okay, it keeps the interest, and something new is always welcome. And I was giving you the examples of Eros, Versace, EDT, EDP, Parfum. All three fragrances smell the same, exact same, just a tad bit tweak here and there. The one EDT and EDP, almost same. Okay, so I give you examples of La Mala and Ultra Male, interesting. Valentino Umo, Umo Intense, interesting. Uh, Dior Intense, Dior Parfum, Dior versus Dior, different. All three are masterpiece. But then this is the case with that. It adds more layers. So think of it cold weathers, perfect fragrance. That kulfi, that cardamom, the woody notes, the tobacco, the leather, the suede, all these things. It definitely feels like a special Christmassy fragrance. And I am praising this a lot. It's in our head, right? If this was a release of Tom Ford Private Blend, we wouldn't be thinking, price is expensive. Yeah, we know it's private blend. Moment you hear that designer line, and it's like from this line, and then immediately these thoughts start hitting you. So I'll tell you. So that one side, it's expensive. Okay, I will not recommend you to blind buy this. But other side, if this was released in a designer like niche line, the private blend, I wouldn't have a problem paying that price tag, because the juice is that good. So it's always comes down to the juice inside, right? So psychologically, people wouldn't pay so much for a designer, but Tom Ford is high-end designer. So keep it in your mind. Perhaps a 50 ml bottle, if they have one, it would be really, really good. But watch out for those sales in Christmas, Black Friday. If they have an offering, grab it. Okay, I knew what I purchased. I bought some of the decants. I knew everything. Tonka Cola, Reflection 44 or 45, and this one. And he gave me Chocolate Makes Me Happy. These fragrances are like top dog of the line. These are like top of the line, like some of the best designer niche fragrances. So definitely this is an interesting perfume, and this is definitely for people who love the original. This is going to be even more love. It's going to be adorable. Okay, so try it out if you're a fan of sexy, sweet, spicy kind of fragrances and mood lifters, and you like your fragrance to perform a lot. Even though this is Parfum, it projects a lot, 2 to 3 hours projection. I could detect it on my neck. I'm wearing it on my neck when I do this. I can smell it on the clothes. It lasts. It's definitely unisex, but I would imagine nobody's gonna be unhappy. Ladies will love the sweetness, the rose, uh, a little bit of that, sweetie vibe from it. But the other side, that men, the tobacco, the sweet, the cardamom, you give these men these things, and they'll be like, yeah, we're sold. So I'll tell you, if you're in Bangladesh, get a sample from him like this 5 ml and just use it. If you fall in love with it, you never know. We do crazy things. Trust me. Sometimes you'll be thinking, it's insane to spend $500, $600 on a perfume, and you'd be like, who would spend fragrances like $1,000 on Rojada? And before you know, you bought a sample, you fell in love with it, or something like Frederick Malle, The Promise, or The Moon, okay, at the dawn, and before you know, you have the perfume, and we used to think like this, like I'll tell you, finish with this note. When I started my journey, moment I saw Jeremy was putting all these perfumes, for me, Bleu de Chanel, La Nuit de l'Homme, these fragrances already were expensive, but it made sense. I saved up like 300-400 ringgit, and I would go to a mall every weekend, or at least twice a month. I would buy perfumes. But moment he showed Aventus, I'm like, huh? I didn't know about designer or niche at the time, in back in 2015. And then in my head, I'm like, crazy man, who's gonna spend $300 on Aventus? And I do own Aventus now. So you never know where a journey takes you, right? So I would not tell you this is cheap by any means. I have full respect to all of you. I'm not gonna say like this is the fragrance that you have to save up and buy. You can get Burberry's London for Christmas. That's a fantastic fragrance for $35. That also works great. Got the tobacco, the what port wine. You get the sweetness. You get a little bit of darkness, lasts nicely. Then also you can get this if you have the cash for it. Okay, if your husband or your wife is a fan of the original, maybe surprise them if you have the cash and you saved it up. This would be a great Christmas present. So I absolutely adore this. I love Noir Extreme, and I also love this, and I love a little bit more because the layers they put on the top of it. Latent versus Latent Exclusive, both are great fragrances. Latent Exclusive is like just tad bit powerful with that extra oud, right? So the Gaiakud in this doesn't feel like oud, but it's a more woody, richer, darker, and if I may say, Tobacco Vanille version of Noir Extreme. So they Tobacco Vanille and Noir Extreme meets, and then you get this. So masterpiece of a perfume, masterpiece. I love Tom Ford's. I don't understand all their fragrances, but like I have massive respect for them, right? So watch out for those, coupon codes, or if you have like coupons they give you, you save it up, and you save up like $100 minus, that would be a great buy. So Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum, perfection, 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, means a lot. And thank you so much Decants A lot page for making these decants for me. And I think the prices they offer is fantastic, even though you feel these are expensive. But like if you bought 4 decants, you feel you could have bought like a full perfume bottle. But for a collector, this is not so much of money. You know why? Because you get to experience something extraordinary. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a nice day. Bye bye.